So what's up, guys? So a while back we got a 4-page spread of information about Broly in reference to the Dragon Ball Super manga, and that is the main topic of today's video. I wanted to discuss the future of Broly in the Dragon Ball Super manga specifically. These 4 pages were released quite a while ago, but a lot of the information that's in them have been kind of glanced over. It's not really talked about much. So I wanted to make this video, especially with the latest revelations in terms of Goku and Vegeta's character development. I wanted to make this video in reference to Broly and just sort of discuss what the possibilities of his progression is in terms of power and character development. So the first thing I want to talk about is this statement. Now, I have a couple of different translations here. The first one is from Herms98, courtesy of Geekdom 101. He actually grabbed this translation back whenever all of this stuff first came out. And this is the first thing that I wanted to talk about in terms of Broly's character development. Now, the translation here from Herms says, when describing Great Ape, and again, just keep in mind that this is in reference to 4 pages from Jump magazine, all referencing the future of Broly in the Dragon Ball Super manga specifically. So just remember that. So here it says, when describing Great Ape, it wonders if they ordinarily seal their power inside their tail in order to not overuse it. Then for Broly's Super Saiyan full power form, it says Broly should be able to win if he manages to control his emotions and fight in a more relaxed state. When discussing Super Saiyan Blue, it notes how Broly has trouble fighting it and says this is probably the best transformation to aim for since everything is framed in terms of Broly. And essentially he is suggesting the idea is that Broly should aim for Super Saiyan Blue. Now, I actually agree with this take because one of the biggest issues that has been highlighted about Broly and Kale is the fact that every time their power reaches its peak, it starts leaking everywhere and they can't control it. That's where you get that iconic scene of like Kale and Broly destroying everything around them as all of these energy blasts go flying through the air. And so it makes a lot of sense for Broly to learn a technique that would allow him to contain all of his chi and control it correctly. Now, whether or not that would mean Broly would get blue, I guess is up for debate, but you know, it does seem like since that is the technique that you use to achieve Super Saiyan Blue, that is the overall result of Broly learning to contain and control his chi at maximum efficiency. Now, in the Dragon Ball Superhero movie, that was the last interaction we got between Goku and Broly. And Goku points out to Broly that he was about to go berserk again in their fight. So that calls attention to the next thing that I wanted to talk about, which is also discussed in these 4 pages, which is this little short cutout here. So here it is translated, and this is, like I said, in reference to Goku, but also in reference to Broly within the Dragon Ball Super manga. And it says, I just love fighting so much that when adrenaline kicks in, I get stronger. Broly's struggle with his instincts, because he has too much fighting instinct, is too intense. It seems it's better to suppress it a little. Now that sounds very familiar. That sounds very, very familiar. And what I mean by that is, it reminds me of what Goku and Vegeta had just went through in the Granola arc. You'll notice in the scene where Goku achieves his version of Ultra Instinct, he takes on this pose Grandpa Gohan taught him, which is a Buddhist pose, martial arts pose, where he puts his hands together, and he does that prior to tapping into his personal form of Ultra Instinct, where his heart is wild. Now, what this means is that Goku is using what he learned on Earth from Grandpa Gohan to maintain a calm mind and also control his wild, crazy, battle-driven heart. So that's essentially what's happening here. Goku is using what he learned on Earth via, martial arts, earthen martial arts, to control the effect that battle has on him as a Saiyan. So why is this important in reference to Broly? Well, I think the lesson that Bardock taught Goku and Vegeta is going to be extended to Broly. I think that Broly is going to have a similar development as Goku and Vegeta in the Granola arc, where he learns to control his emotions in a very similar way to Goku and Vegeta in their God forms. Because despite the fact that Goku is in a suspended state of shocks to his emotions, he is still calm. And that's a misconception I see a lot about True Ultra Instinct. A lot of people's like, Goku is no longer calm in this form, and that is not the case. Goku is calm in this form. He is controlling his heart going crazy mid-battle using martial arts. And this is where I personally think they are intending to take Broly in terms of his development in power. I think Goku is eventually going to help Broly learn to control his personal instincts in the same way that Goku has here, also very similar to Vegeta. And speaking of Vegeta, there's also a short passage in these pages in reference to Vegeta. Now, here is a translation credit to DBS Chronicles. He says, all of these green articles are written to be compared with, seen from Broly's point of view, which I pointed out a while ago. When talking about Vegeta's ultra ego, the scan says, training with Beerus awakens the power of destruction. If Broly trains too, he may find a new evolution different from Goku's. So that is a very, very, very strong hint at Broly gaining a new transformation, a new form. Now, this also suggests, based on what's said here, that Broly is going to have something similar to Goku's Ultra Instinct and Vegeta's Ultra Ego. And what's really interesting about that is that Goku and Vegeta, their forms are references to Whis and Beerus. Of course, we know that. But where is Broly going to get the inspiration for his new evolution? Who is going to guide him into gaining his new power? Well, the answer to me is Goku. Now, Vegeta, I think, will also help. I think Vegeta also has something to offer in terms of helping Broly develop. But I think whatever transformation Broly achieves, it is going to be a reference to Goku as his master. I think Goku is going to help him achieve this new state, and it is going to be on the level of the God techniques. Now, whether or not you want to consider it a God technique, I don't know. We don't know yet. We don't know exactly what's going to happen here. But what I think is going to happen, my personal theory, my personal idea for what I think is going to happen here, I think because Broly's instincts are so powerful that when he finally does learn to control his instincts, it is going to be a way, way more potent form of Goku's true Ultra Instinct, but I think that it's going to be much more Saiyan themed and not necessarily Ultra Instinct. I think essentially Broly's personal instincts as a Saiyan are so powerful that they can match the reaction and adaptation rate of Ultra Instinct itself, just based on Broly's biology and not based on any understanding of the God techniques. I think that he himself can achieve a level that is comparable to Ultra Ego and Ultra Instinct, but a much more Saiyan-esque route in terms of his development. And that's essentially what I'm getting from this, is that if Broly can achieve perfect chi control, and then also achieve using his emotions to his advantage and his instincts as a Saiyan to his advantage, that he is going to have his own personal evolution on par with Goku and Vegeta. And that's very interesting to me, and I really look forward to seeing this happen in the Dragon Ball Super manga, because they, like I said, they have given us 4 whole pages of a spread here, basically hinting that this is going to be a major plot point in the future. This is not something that they are just hinting at. This is like they're telling us that this is coming. And I'm very excited to see what happens here. And in these pages, every time you see this heart icon, they reference it as Broly's secret technique. So they are hinting at a Broly secret technique coming in the Dragon Ball Super manga. Now, just to get into specifics, here it says that Broly demonstrates the power of Great Ape in his human state. Being in his usual state, he can fight using his Great Ape power, but then he loses his self-control and goes berserk. First, he must learn to fight with his emotions in check. Now, again, doesn't that sound an awful lot like Goku's Ultra Instinct? And here, right next to the information that I was telling you about in reference to Super Saiyan Blue, they also reference Broly's secret technique yet again, but they also do it in reference to his personal Super Saiyan transformation. And it says right here that he awakened Super Saiyan full power, which made him fight evenly with Gogeta, but then he lost control of himself and went berserk. If he controls his emotions and fights calmly, he can surely win. So they are essentially telling us here that the goal of Broly's development here is to eventually be able to control his emotions and use them to his advantage, and also have chi control on the level of Goku and Vegeta in Super Saiyan Blue. And that is essentially what they are telling us is the secret to Broly's new secret technique, and is the future of his character going forward in Dragon Ball Super. Anyway, I just wanted to do this quick video because I don't think this is talked about enough. I think it's super cool. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.